What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding. We have a ton of bodybuilding news for you guys today. We've got Calum Von Moger in serious legal trouble. Is he going to jail? Justin Shai, his transformation, as you can see on the screen right here. Keon Pearson has some crazy hanging lats with the physique update from him. Quinton Arai guest posing. Legion Sports Fest Pro competitor list released. Lee Haney speaks on the Arnold UK and controversy there. And Redcon1, did they dump Blessing and Waterboot, or did Blessing and Waterboot dump them, as they're no longer together now after a video from Nick Trigilli? But I've got the word directly from Blessing himself. So guys, drop some likes in the comments, drop some comments as well, because I always love to hear from you guys. And honestly, I love doing videos this way so much more because you guys are in the comments live. And for those who are watching on replay as well, drop comments and likes as well, because that really does help, because I get a lot of attention during the lives and then it sort of drops off a little bit more in these videos. And if you like more content coming at you, make sure you support these types of videos. These types of videos. Sorry guys, I'm losing my voice literally as soon as I started this video, but let's push on. Let's go through it. So Justin Shire here, who's on the Fluid Abiad podcast, I believe it's Bro Chat. Real funny dude, great physique. I mean, this is his, on the left here is his peak 2021 off season. So he came in, he won his pro card after that. And then look at him now and how much he's actually grown and progressed, especially in those legs. That's the one thing we sort of talked about most, or most people have talked about most. They have come up in leaps and bounds. And the way he looked on stage last time, I'll bring up photos of that, when he won his pro card. I was such a big fan of his physique then. So I think I'm going to be a bigger fan of his physique now. So super, super impressed with this recent transformation of Justin Shire. And I'll show you what he looked like on stage for those who don't know as well, because that is crazy impressive. There he is on stage. Very, very small waist. Very, very detailed, hard, grainy. Now, these photos have obviously been, edited somewhat. You can tell by the graininess of them and just, I suppose, the overall texture of the skin. But still, you can still see you don't just have those cuts in those quads and the lines in the glutes and the lines through the chest. I just love the amount of detail, separation. And I think that lacks a little bit in today's bodybuilding. And that's when a lot of people talk about the quality of physiques. They talk about the detail and what's going on there. So, yeah, great look here from Justin Shire, and very, very impressed. Well, not here. Great look here with that transformation, but obviously a great look on stage as well. So moving on, we're discussing Keon Pearson, looking pretty damn amazing here. He looks like he just gets bigger and bigger as he goes through preps. And I think that's good for him, because he took a little break after he won that show, qualified for the Olympia, and he's just gotten better. So super, super impressive here from Keon Pearson. And then this one, this is the one that sort of blew me away. The hanging lats, just like, it's a bit of a Mark Hector sort of look, because he's got those really, really big upper lats where it just almost protrudes and starts to cover the arm off a little bit. But I'm so crazy impressed by Keon Pearson, and I really hope we get to see the best Keon Pearson with a great level of fullness and also conditioning as well. But let me know what you think about Keon Pearson in the comments below, and I'll get to your comments as well after I finish all these news stories, and maybe a little bit in between as well. Now, the Legion Sports Fest on this weekend in Reno, Nevada. And we'll go down to the competitor list, because it's pretty good, because we didn't really hear too many names that were doing this show. We knew Tony Burton was doing it, and that's all we knew for a while. Then we heard Stan DeLonge, who's been on my podcast a little bit, who's Stanimal. That's Sean Roden's former training partner, IFBB Pro, that's moved from men's physique to classic, competed at the Olympia, and now is in open bodybuilding. So he's on the list. We've got Jamie Christian here from the UK, who just got third in that we did the Arnold Classic UK and got sixth, and then he got third in the Yamamoto Cup, which was just on the weekend in France. I just totally forgot what show that was for a second. And I even debated, but he could have potentially won that show. So he's doing this show. So it'll be interesting to see how he matches up in front of a different judging lineup. And then we've also got the man who was trying to keep it undercover. I mentioned in my last video that Tony Burton basically spotted him there. Justin Rodriguez on the competitors list as well. So he's got to really come in as the favorite here. And he made an interesting point as well. He said Tonio obviously won the 212 at the Indy last year, and Justin won the Open at that same show. And now they're competing head-to-head in the Open. So cannot wait to see who sort of comes out on top in that, because Tonio Burton is looking crazy right now. I'm assuming Justin's looking pretty crazy. He's working with George Farah, so that'll be interesting to see how things change from going from Cement Factory, which is AJ Sims, who did very well with Justin as well. It just wasn't so much this year, but that's more because I think Justin was just burnt out. In the past, he'd done great with him. And George Farah is obviously a great coach who's doing very well with, Blessing Awodibu, Andrew Jacks. He's pretty much the king of the Nigerian IFBB pros right now. So let me know in the comments below how you think Justin Rodriguez will do. Who do you think will win this contest? I'm very interested to see how Standard Longy will do. He's got some great updates, and I might even get him on a radio show tomorrow or the next day, or for an individual interview, because he's very, very interesting to speak to in terms of what his process is, and just that, I suppose, that change from going from men's physique so quickly up to open, and how he sort of manages that. And there's a lot of guys that are adding a lot of mass at the moment. Like you got Brett Wilkin, and people say, can you condition muscle and all that sort of stuff when you're growing so much? And it's a battle for these guys. We saw it with Mark Hector, and he added a lot of muscle, and it's hard to condition that muscle when you've added so much in such a short period. So I think it's a pretty good competitors list. You got Stephen Fraser on here as well. I'm trying to think who this guy is. I've seen the name. Sometimes I struggle to put names to faces. I know Jojo Nefidero. He actually has one calf that is way bigger than the other one. I'm not to point that out, but he had a couple of seasons. I don't know if he's working with George Farah, who it was actually. I think it might have been George Farah. And he came in at his all-time best and just brought enough fullness and brought that really, really good conditioning that he struggled with for years. So he sort of shocked me those years when he did really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all these guys do in this lineup. And we've got Classic Physique as well. Pretty big lineup. Trying to see if there's any real top names doing it. I can't see any now. There's so many good names in Classic Physique now. I'm sure there's a ton of good competitors in here too. 2 pages of men's physique guys. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty big show. I'm assuming there's going to be a live stream this weekend, which they'll have. I actually got a copyright strike from these guys just recently, which is unfortunate because I didn't hear any contact from them beforehand. And they reported me for putting a bit of a footage in my pre-judging review last year. So I did promote their webcast, but yeah, if they sent me a message, I happily would have just deleted the video. But anyway, it should be a good show this weekend. And let me know your predictions in the comments below. And next story is on Quinton Araya, a great dude, but an amazing bodybuilder as well. Great physique. I mean, he's looking big. This is what we need to see from Quinton, because I know he had his gyno surgery. When was it? A couple of years ago. So he had a bit more time out of the gym, came in, got second to Joel Thomas, almost qualified for the 2022 Olympia. But he just missed out. But I think that's almost for the best. And he missed out on the Olympia this year as well, which in a way is almost for the best as well, because this guy is going to be so determined by the time he sort of gets that first pro win, I think he's going to be right there and ready to go to the Olympia and do some serious damage. I did predict he would make the Olympia this year and place top 10, but it's not a bad thing for Quinton, because really his ultimate goal is to be the best and win the Mr. Olympia. And look at that physique. Him and Samson, I mean, I think they're going to be there for the next few years. And I think Quinton in a couple of years will be right up there with Samson. And they've got very similar physiques. They both are Nigerian as well, and they're killing it. And I cannot wait to see these guys stand side by side on stage. And it's quite funny because Samson and Quinton have some sort of similar weaknesses as well. And Samson's really made some of those weaknesses sort of almost strengths, or at least close to strengths on his physique with his recent updates, which I'm going to feature in a video I've got coming up soon as well. But Quinton just looks so much improved and so much fuller. And I just can't wait to see, with another off-season under his belt and competing next year, I think Quinton's going to do very, very well. But let me know what you think about the future potential of Quinton Araya, because even though you see him go through another contest season and not qualify for the Olympia, we've got to remember this guy is in his 20s and he's still got a few years, I believe, until he's 30 as well. So big future for Quinton Araya. Now, I'll go back to make sure the stream is all still good and all still going. And you guys are here. Awesome. Another 18 comments. Appreciate you guys. I'll feature for you. Sway King, give the X-Man a like, you cookie cutters. Thank you, bro. Same on G says, Justin is a douche. He said he wasn't competing this year. He isn't. That's just his transformation from last year to this year. Justin was heavyweight. Yeah. Who won the overall? Pretty sure Justin won his class. I think someone says here Carlos won the overall, and he looked sensational there as nationals, and he was a super heavyweight, and he won that one. Swag King. Trujilli comes to Xavier for his stories. Well, I've sort of gone to him on one of these ones, but then I've got a little bit more of an update on the Blessing Awodibu situation. But awesome, guys. I'm going to get back onto these stories and get back into this page. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is on Calum Von Moger. And also, funny story when this comes up, actually. This person here, Kate Ritchie, she's was on a famous TV show in Australia for years. I was actually on a radio show and went against her in a game, like a radio show game on national radio here. I lost, unfortunately, but I still won $1,000 phone. But I would have won another $1,000 cash if I won it. But anyway, so the title reads on this Calum Von Moger story: Los Angeles carjacking triggered Mr. Universe. Calum Von Moger's road rage caught his. Former Miss Universe, who lost his temper and slashed a car's tires in a road rage incident, has provided reasons for his dramatic behavior. So pretty intense anyway. But moving on, Calum Von Moger faced Melbourne Magistrate Court on Monday, where he pleaded guilty to charges of intentionally damaging property, carrying a prohibited weapon, and careless driving of a motor vehicle. Now, I will say as well that I've seen Calum Von Moger because I subscribe to his YouTube channel and then turn notifications on. And I saw some videos uploaded from him and another guy, and they're smoking something while they're driving. And the guy keeps saying to Calum, he's like, slow down, man, slow down. And there's like a lot of scary sort of videos and stuff that went up like that. And it just came across as very, very weird. And it came across as like, if I had to guess what they were using, completely guess. Now, I don't know what he was using, but it seemed like at least this guy that was speaking on the camera, not Calum, was on meth. He just seemed very wide in the way he's talking, and Calum did not seem sort of in his right mind as well. And he was driving, and that stuff's scary because that can kill people just from just driving completely recklessly. So, says Calum Von Moger faced Melbourne Magistrate Court on Monday, where he pleaded guilty to charges of intentionally damaging property, carrying a prohibited weapon, and careless driving. Did I just read that? Sorry, guys. 32-year-old was involved in a traffic incident with another car in Altona North on January 26. After a verbal altercation with the other driver, he climbed into the passenger side of the victim's car and eventually stabbed the victim's tire. So he jumped into the car and then he stabbed the tire. I think me and him must have jumped back out and then stabbed the tire, but that's scary. And you can see Calum here as well on the screen. I'll see if I can zoom in a little bit just to make it a little bit easier, a little bit bigger on your guys' screens. There we get it. When police located Mr. Von Moger's after the incident, he was arrested and his vehicle was searched. Inside, police found a Victorian number plate covered in blood, a black knuckle duster, a tomahawk, and a hunting knife, the court was told. So you can only imagine why Calum would have this stuff. It seems like it's either a protection thing or what. I don't know if people might be after him. I'm not sure. Like he could be paranoid from drugs because he did check into rehab. So that was sort of revealed that he did have an issue, which I hate to see, because obviously this has affected his life in such a negative way from a guy that was really, killing it in many regards. He was transported to Werribee Police Station, where he later later released on bail. His lawyer, Bernard Campangilli, said Mr. Von Moger's dramatic reaction to the situation was caused by negative experience he had while living in the United States. He was a victim of a number of carjackings that left him scared and traumatized and triggered a reaction that people here wouldn't have, Mr. Campangilli told the court. So, I mean, it seems like a pretty poor excuse from his lawyer. I don't know if he has a good lawyer or a bad lawyer or what, but that triggered a slightly excessive reaction, Your Honor. So slightly excessive, just jumping into a guy's car, stabbing his tires. He had, I heard it was with a machete. I don't know if this was that same incident. Hopefully it is the same incident. There wasn't more. Except that Mr. Von Moger can't go around stabbing tires, essentially. His lawyer also told the court of how his client's mental health declined rapidly in the past year, and he spiraled, in quotes, out of control upon returning to Australia for a number of reasons. He's taken testosterone for a number of years because he doesn't produce it naturally, his lawyer said. And you see Calum here. As we go down, we can see Calum and his brother here as well. And his brother, I've got a video of his brother, and it was featured on another couple of YouTube channels as well. I didn't know if to report it, but it's a pretty disgusting video. You can tell he's not sort of in his right mind. And there's another incident with him as well. He'll face talking about Calum Von Moger, he'll face sentencing hearing in November. Mr. Von Moger made headlines this year after falling from a second-story window at his parents' home before being placed in an induced coma. He found fame competing in the bodybuilding circuit before winning the Mr. Universe title in 2014. Mr. Von Moger played Arnold Schwarzenegger in the 2018 American comedy drama Bigger. For anyone who's seen that movie, let me know if you think that's a comedy drama. I would say it's a drama, but not a comedy drama. I don't know whether humor's actually really much in that movie. But yeah, if you have seen that movie, let me know and what you thought of it in the comments below as well. But super unfortunate. Now, I hate to see this, but this is his brother. I saw this video a little bit ago. I didn't know if to report on it or not, but he's also, I think he's in court for another reason as well. I was actually meant to screenshot it, but it says something about basically he got in trouble for terrorizing his parents' home. Like, I think he basically went in there and tore it apart, and it says while he was on magic mushrooms. So I don't know if he's appearing in court or what was that, but I actually got off that screen, unfortunately. But here's a little bit of a footage of him basically attacking an old man.
You catching this? Yeah.
He's got the vaccine hidden by you. It's the right got the vaccine and it's lost a lot.
Leave me alone.
So absolutely nuts. Like, that is crazy. So, I mean, I'm all for giving people second chances, but at some point, like if that was your father or if that was someone you loved or your partner or something like that, you would go completely ballistic and you would not be forgiving that person anytime soon. So, I mean, let me know your thoughts. What I mean, these guys are obviously seem like, from the outside looking in, like they're out of control, and I hope they can get help and hope they get right, because these cases sort of go one or two ways. Either they go downhill worse and something seriously bad happens to someone else they're around or to them, or they get better, at some stage. But hopefully they get better, these guys, and they're able to get the help they need and they're able to accept the help they need, because they can't change until they want to change themselves, I guess. But on to the next story. Lee Haney spoke on the Menace podcast. We're getting a lot of content from Menace podcast. We get great guests and it's an awesome show. So I'll put the link to that. The link actually to that is in the description below if you want to watch the full episode here with Lee Haney. They actually uploaded it, but the last 25 or 30 minutes was actually silent. So this is the version now that has the full audio, I believe. I haven't checked, but I assume they re-uploaded it for that reason. Now here it is, Lee Haney speaking about, and I'll also give my reaction about that Arnold Classic UK and what went down.
Lee, we were just talking about the Arnold UK, and then Chris mentioned that you put a statement out about them, mentioning your name. Can you explain what really happened there? Why you went so far to put out a statement? What was the reason for that?
Well, I had some fans to reach out to me saying, Mr. Haney, I purchased tickets to the Arnold UK, and I now understand you're not going to be there. And, and he was not the only fan. So I just wanted to make it clear that it wasn't a fault on my side, because wherever I'm contracted to be, I make sure I'm there. So no one in the sport of bodybuilding doing any seminars anywhere in the world can say Lee Haney didn't hold up his part of the bargain.
Right.
Lee is literally the most reputable man in bodybuilding. He is like man of his word. Like, you have never heard a bad word about Lee Haney. Yeah, he talked some smack back in his career, but he did it in, even a more gentle way than Muhammad Ali, where he was confident, but he was funny. You get away with a lot of things when you're funny as well. So Lee Haney is the man. I mean, everyone loves him. Literally, these guys were all fighting about who's the bigger fan. Dennis was like, I remember you from this time. Cormier was like, I'm your biggest fan. And Mills was like, well, I stood next to you. I was the only one here to stand next to Lee Haney on stage. So it's pretty cool. Everyone loves Lee Haney.
With this situation, we were in negotiations several months prior to that, nearly almost a year. And it just never came through, so it was.
So they were using Lee Haney's name. They said he was going to be one of the heroes there at the Arnold Sports Festival UK. He says it never came through. They were in negotiations. So they were using, by what Lee Haney said, by the sounds of it, they were using his name, his likeness, and all that sort of stuff to sell tickets to this Meet the Heroes thing, and Lee Haney hadn't even signed a contract. The fact that they were negotiating, they were just banking that he would sign and using his likeness and everything illegally, illegally as well, is crazy. And he mentions about the promoter as well. The promoter is Stephen O'Lexi. There was other promoters as well, I believe, earlier on, but did drop out as far as I know. This is allegedly dropped out, like Eddie Hall and whatnot as well. But the one that, so I suppose, left standing as far as I know is Stephen O'Lexi. He's welcome to reach out to me, give his side of the story, and I'll definitely publish it because everyone deserves their side. But Lee Haney is definitely a reputable name, and there was a ground, I mean, what do you call it? Like a massive amount of controversy around the Arnold Classic UK, and I just can't imagine many names putting their name up to attending an event put on next year if it's under the same guy, Stephen O'Lexi. Anyway, let's listen on.
Wasn't so much back and forth. It was just the promoter just didn't follow through.
Right.
So I just wanted to make it clear to the fans that it wasn't my fault.
Gotcha.
Although they were advertising me as being one of the heroes, having not fulfilled their end of the contract. So, which was a travesty to the fans there in the UK.
Right.
So he said they hadn't fulfilled their end of a contract. So maybe there was a contract signed, but they just hadn't fulfilled it, whether it means paying Lee Haney potentially. Maybe he's meant to be paid half up front, half later, or all up front. I'm not sure. So either they maybe signed a contract and it was sort of like pending on if he was paid, and he was never paid. So it was not a binding contract, and they still used his likeness to sell tickets. So Lee could definitely probably take some legal action against them if that's the case. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below about that whole situation and what will go down. It seems like there's no Arnold Classic UK happening ever again, potentially. And I mean, Stephen O'Lexi seems all ahead for doing a different sort of expo next year. Now, Blessing Awadabu, the boogeyman, formerly with Redcon1, there was all that controversy earlier in the year, whereas basically, who is Blessing Awadabu? I mean, is Blessing Awadabu, did he get fired by Redcon1? All that sort of stuff. He spoke about it on a Full Ads podcast and basically said, they dropped him. They picked him back up after that interview. I assume maybe that was some directive from Aaron Singerman from jail. I'm not too sure. And he's back with him. They made a video about it, made a big deal. And today I saw on Bodybuilding and BS, which is Nick Trigilli's channel, go there, check him out. He's got 30K views on this one here, which was only 9 hours ago. It says Redcon1 drops Blessing Awadabu again. And it says fired. So that's the report there from Nick Trigilli. I'll zoom in on that one a little bit so you guys can maybe, whoa, too close. So you guys can see it a little bit better. That's the one there. Redcon1 drops Blessing Awadabu. So I've been talking to Blessing. I basically discussed it with him. He said that he was not dropped. I don't know why it says I'm not subscribed here to. Oh no, that's Bodybuilding and BS Shorts. Okay, but yeah, so Blessing Awadabu said to me, he said he was not dropped or not fired by Redcon1. He said he left Redcon1. So I'll just go back to my messages on my phone now. I won't read it verbatim, but he did tell me this because I didn't have the okay to read verbatim what he said. Basically, he's moving house. He was with Redcon1, and as far as I understand, they took care of his living arrangement. They basically had him there. They sorted his sort of working visa so he could stay in the US as well. So that's another risk. But he may be made to, I suppose, leave the US. And also, I did check this as well. There's no Redcon1 in here, and he did confirm to me. So basically, I asked him, and he said, he basically said he's no longer with them. He said, I left, and he said, not fired. So, and then he said, what's he say after that? He said, basically said he walked away from a 2-year contract. So it sounds like Blessing Awadabu had a 2-year contract and he walked away from it. For what reason, I don't know. I have talked about Blessing. I do want to get him on the channel as well. I'll be continuing to talk to him. He's moving house today, I believe. But Blessing Awadabu, it seems like he is a free agent. Whether Blessing is going to another company or not, I don't know. That could be the reason potentially. They may have mutually came to this decision. Maybe he said, look, I want to leave for this reason. And they said, okay. I'm not too sure. Let me know what you think went down in the comments below. Hopefully we can get the full story, and I'm sure we will get the full story at some point from Blessing Awadabu. And hopefully he gives that full story on Desktop Bodybuilding as well. And shout out as well to Nick Trigilli for breaking that. Although I think that, yeah, Blessing did say he left Redcon1 and he was not fired. So a different story coming there from Blessing Waterbury. But let me know what you think in the comments below and ask any of your questions right now. And I will get into those comments and questions. So let's stop this screen share and let's have a look. Same old G, truly has a crush on Xavier. Hopefully not a weird crush. Justin will shock a lot of people. He's impressive. Now let's go to our poll results as well. Might play audio for 1 second of mine. There we go. Okay. Let's have a look at the poll results. Oh, will Justin Shire qualify for 2023 Mr. Olympia? 52% say yes. 53% say yes. Voting right before my eyes. There's only 66 votes. Come on, guys. Get your votes on. 30% say no. And 17% say not in 2023, but he will qualify for it. So essentially 70% of you think that he will qualify for an Olympia at some stage in his life. 30% say he won't. 53% say it will be next year. So awesome. People saying blessing to hostile. I'll get back into your comments as well. So yeah, I think Justin is going to be very, very good based on how much progress he's made. It's absolutely crazy. So very much looking forward to seeing that on stage. Jay, let me know how you pronounce your name, man. Brideau. I'm saying Brideau. Jay Brideau says Keon can pack on size, but we need to see conditioning on stage for sure. And Keon comes in condition, but I think it's just one of those things where he's adding so much muscle and his physique fluctuates so much that sometimes it's just not fully there. You know, there's maybe a little bit of water there. He does, you know, he mentioned when I did my interview with him about suffering with anxiety and depression and stuff like that. So I think some of that can definitely play a big role in it as well. Cortisol can do crazy things to your body. Going through comments. Oh, wow, it's way back. You guys have left a lot of comments. Let me find all the new ones. Okay, we've seen Austin Powers. I said no, sorry. It is still a tough lineup, isn't it? I mean, it's definitely tough at the top. I don't know if there's more comments before that. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the show this weekend. Hopefully, here we go. Jay Brideau, Boogeyman lost his contract with Redcon. Who should sign him next? Who should sign Blessing next? Some people said Hostile, I think, somewhere. Labrada signing Blessing would be cool. Yeah, that'd be like a cool sort of 1-2 combo and seeing them train together. Blessing and Waterbury and Hunter Labrada. But I think Blessing, I mean, he's got that sort of, he suited Redcon1 as a company, really. He did. But I'm trying to think of who he could go to next. He could be good, like athlete for Mutant, although he's not sort of the Rich Piana, like absolutely freaky, huge look. He's got some sort of aesthetics to his physique where he looks a little bit different like that. Miller, bro, you are standout channel as of lately. You keep putting this up and you're going to see a ton of growth. Yeah, well, it's going to get better, guys, because literally I went to the lives primarily because it was quicker to get out content. I can do it in a more efficient way, and I don't have the same post-production. So there's going to be more and more videos like this, honestly. It's going to grow. My goal is to get, you know, at some point 20 videos out a week, including a couple of podcasts in there as well. Ideally about 3 podcasts. There's another show that I want to do. There's a lot of stuff in the works, but obviously finding the time with 2 kids and watching them half the time, it's a little bit of a challenge. But if I can get to the stage where I continue to grow this, make a little bit more money from this channel, can start paying someone to watch my kids a little bit more during the day, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So, and all your guys' support is what makes me grow. Because if no one was watching, I would make 0 money. So that's why I honestly want to do shows that are literally dedicated just to answering questions for you guys. Who else is at the show with Brett? So Romania Pro, we've got a guy called Baru's doing that one. So he did a show last year and he wanted to do more shows. And I thought he would have actually qualified for the Olympia. This dude is shredded out of his mind. Emil Sachev athlete. And yeah, I think that he's going to do very well. He's going to be right up there with Brett. And then there was a couple of other guys as well. Potentially we'll see, like, you know, if Crizo doesn't qualify at Prague, he might go to this show. There's a whole bunch of names. I saw a fair few. But yeah, you go. You got it, bro. Thank you, man. Who wins on points to enter the Olympia? Do you guys let me know if you want to have a look at the point standings right now? Let me know in the comments. I'll take a quick look at the Olympia point standings so we can assess who's going to qualify on points. I mean, if Justin Rodriguez doesn't win this show, then he'll shortly qualify in points by getting a few more. Here we go. Austrian Powers. Will Justin do Reno? I will. The local guy will win. Yeah. So Austrian Powers. Let me know if you're definitely doing that show in the Classic. I don't know if I saw your name on the list. But yeah, Justin is doing Reno, which is cool. Burton is my favorite. Yeah, Burton he's going to be up there, man. I mean, you got Jamie Christian in there as well. You got a few names, but yeah, Tonio Burton versus Justin Rodriguez is definitely going to be a cool battle to see. The two winners from Indy last year in the 212 and the Open. Here we go. He could train with Evagen and train with Haney Rambo. That'd be interesting for Blessing and Waterloo for sure. Blessing has a huge following on IG. Sure does. He's got a massive following. He's going to be a good get for anyone, I think. He's only getting better. It's a good time for you. I can always jump on, bro. I will do Reno this weekend, the Legion. Cool. We'll do something Austrian. Man, every time I say Austrian Powers, it makes me forget your name. And then I forget Austrian Powers when I'm looking at your name as well, dude. It literally just makes me have a total mind blank. But Austrian Powers is a cool name, so you can roll with that. Here we go. This is from Josh Weaver. So do you have a full-time job or is this your work? This is my main work now. So I do have a few clients and do stuff like that, like posing. That's the thing I do on through FaceTime a lot of the time now because I've moved to Tasmania. So I've moved away from a lot of my clients. But Leo Meyerhofer, yeah, of course. Sorry. Let's pull that up on the screen for a second. Of course. I always think of you as Leo, and then literally I completely forget. Back to this question from Josh Weaver. This is my main gig at the moment. So it is getting to the point now, well, it's sort of switched to more being my main gig just because of life situations, having a 2 and a 3-year-old and both parents working and sharing time watching them. So I don't have as much time as some guys. So I can't have a normal 5-day-a-week job unless I'm putting my kids into daycare, which they're not, fully don't have all the shots and all that sort of stuff. And I don't want to leave that till they're a little bit older. So yeah, it's a challenge, but you know what? If I can make enough money and I can get some care for my kids, then this channel there's going to be double the content that there is right now. So, and there's going to be some cooler content too, because I can put more time into it. Like, yeah, I've got a lot of ideas. I don't want to give them away because I don't want people to take them. Josh Weaver, I'd like to see Jamie win a show. Would love to see that. The dude deserves, I mean, I think we're going to look back in 5 years, 10 years and not see any more guys that are 6'5" doing well and go, man, maybe Jamie should have got some higher placings than that. Wrap this one up soon, guys. I don't want to go too long. Swagging. Joe Mansell, natty or not. Are you from Australia, dude? I think you maybe mentioned that to me before. I'm not sure. He's the owner of Massive Joe's, so he's put on some size. He used to be natural. I mean, he's got a fair bit of muscle now, so who knows? Brett, top 3, maybe, but no qualifying for you. I disagree, MVP. Brett looks very, very good right now. Go watch my last bodybuilding news video and see his recent physique update. It looks crazy. I think he was live, actually, to be honest. So I think you would have seen it. The Red Loop says, I'm not a fan of J-Rod's, Justin Rodriguez. I like J-Rod. That should be his nickname for sure. He should sell shirts that say J-Rod, like in baseball style as well. He's blown out and has no detail anywhere. I wouldn't say he has no detail anywhere. I know what you mean. His delts are stick up a little bit much, but I think that he can look so impressive sometimes that, I mean, it just depends. It just depends. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how he looks. I mean, it is one of those things where he could go the wrong way if he just pushed things too hard. Mike D, you get a lot of views. Yeah, hopefully I can start to get a lot more, man. It's grown just lately from your guys' support. So, and you know what? Blessing needs a sponsor, but also this channel needs a sponsor as well. And I'm super fussy about who I bring on board. But if you guys know of any companies or anything like that, or if any owners are watching this and do want to support the channel, and that I will be pushing your stuff hard. I definitely want like an energy drink sponsor. This is a Monster. But Celsius, if you're out there, get around me. I know you guys were just made a deal with Pepsi or something like that. So Josh Weaver, Xavier definitely kills it. Thanks, man. Anyone else notice that Calum went off the hinges after he took down his Arnold poster and talked shit about him? Yeah, I did see that. I mean, I think that was sort of all happening at the same time, unfortunately. I think it was natural. Does Axon Sledge want blessing? From John Deloro. I don't know if Axon Sledge do want blessing. What do you guys think? Is he that sort of style of guy? I mean, you think of like Seth Ferosi and like cutting wood and being one of those real hardcore sort of dudes. Blessing's his own sort of character, I guess, because he's like a comedy dude and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, it could work. I don't see it being the same. That story before until Brett stands next to other bodybuilders. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he stood next to Hunter and looked damn good. And you go, oh, you could maybe make a case for him against Hunter. And Hunter goes and gets fourth from the Olympia. And was he that much better than he was in Chicago as well? So he sort of played that game and you see how close they really are, you know? I think Brett just missed the mark at one show. And it's hard to bounce with his physique because he can flatten pretty easy too. Same old G, Desktop Bodybuilding, Blessing sponsorship. Yeah, we come as a combo. So if you sponsor Blessing, you sponsor me. That was that one. Here we go from Jay Bordeaux. I hope I'm getting your name right. Thoughts on Nick Walker back in Jansen's camp? I think it's a good move. Nothing against his coach who was coaching him, Dom Superslice, but I just think that Matt Jansen is so proven. And he's proven with Nick Walker, brought him in his all-time best, and he's making some crazy improvements that it's hard to say, like, you know, if it's a bad move whatsoever. Rooster says, does Fitzwater take a year off from competing to add size and maturity? That's what he said he's doing. But you know how it is after a show, like he might make some massive improvements and then just go, look, I made huge improvements. How much more can I push it? I want to sort of get in shape and show this off, you know, so who knows? Oops. Do you think Crizzo and Vito will make the O this year? I don't think Vito will. I think he's competing the same weekend as a Romania pro. Maybe it's the week before. Then if so, he could jump into Romania, but he'll be up against Brett Wilkin, Baruz. I know there's a few other names that said they're probably doing it as well. So I don't think Vito does. I think Crizzo will. But it's not a sure thing. Axon Sledge has athletes like, I don't know. You're going to post this vid to channel, right? I'm late at AF. Yeah, this will all go up automatically straight on the channel afterwards. It might take 30 minutes. I don't know. I don't know if it goes up instant or if it takes a little bit. I think it takes a little bit to process and for the good quality version to come out. Swag King, Zave, dude, an idea for more content. Just make shorter, more frequent vids. This could have been 3 separate ones with catchy titles. Do most lives, some pre-recorded. Yeah, I just don't want to be doing 8 videos a day because making 8 thumbnails takes a while as well. Here we go. So, Swaggy basically describing a clips channel. So yeah, you could do that easily. Yeah, it's an interesting ideas. I appreciate that, guys, because I could make multiple channels, but then you've got to build one up, and then you could take months to get monetized as well. So I need the money now. That might be a future thing. Why do Milosachev and Max Muscle call you Xavier? I thought it was just Xavier. It is just Xavier, but most American people say Xavier, or Xavier, or whatever. I think it's just because you see the X and you don't pronounce it like, I think you don't pronounce it like a Z, but it's pronounced like a Z, Xavier. 2 more questions. 2 more questions. 2 more questions. Thank you, guys. Appreciate all the support. Here we go. The Red Loop, Big Zabe, do you see, you spelled Ian crazy, you put 2 extra letters in there, I think. Ian in the top 10 this year? I do. On the fringes of the top 10 potentially, though, because the lineup is so crazy. Nothing against him. I think he'll come in his best all time. Thank you for clearing that up once and for all. My Spanish is my native language. Well, man, you're doing good English, so you're absolutely killing it. Sweet. Awesome. Just lots of support from you guys. I really appreciate it. Here we go. The Beast. Who's your dark horse pick for Yo? Samson Dowder. If there's going to be anyone that jumps in there that's not in there already, Samson Dowder. Let me know your dark horse pick for Yo. Let me know. We'll have a look at that live poll. What was the final results? Will Justin Shire qualify for 2023 Olympia? 51% say yes, 33% say no, 17% say not in 2023, but he will eventually. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked and appreciate this content, thumbs up on this one, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, all that good stuff. And then you'll be notified of every live that goes up. I do contest coverage as well. I do interviews, as one with James Hollingshead. We did completely live, almost went for 2 hours. It was one of my favorite interviews that I've ever done. Anyway, sorry guys, I went long on this one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do enjoy it in the future, maybe consider doing a super chat or whatever as well, just so I can make these videos more regular, because every bit of support definitely does help. all the liking, sharing, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, guys, that's it for me for Xavier Wills Desktop Bodybuilding. We are out.